Hi everyone, I'm Tony and welcome to Southern Sustenance. Today I'm going to go through some of the grafting I did a couple months back and see the successes that we've had. So the first on the block here are the plums. So I had some good success grafting on some prunes. So these are the variety Splendor onto that Satsuma rootstock. Come around here. Also grafted on some Wixen, very nice, and when it's grown as much as this has, it's time to take off that sticky tape. Here's a bit of sticky tape I've taken off earlier, and this is a prune Diagen, and you can see that it's sort of partly healed. So the reason why this is very stunted here, the reason why that I think it hasn't been as productive as the other two is because the scions I used are very thick, and because it's very thick it takes a long time to heal. So I think that's why, and you've also got a lot of that growth underneath that scion too, but yeah, I think it's because it's very thick. What we also did is grafted on Fuji onto a bit of wild apple onto the Granny Smith. So Fuji's taken, again, time to take off the tape now, but yeah, it's in blossom. So this is a lot later than the plums, probably a month later in terms of blossoming, whereas persimmon is starting to give the flowers now. So again, a thick bit of scion on the persimmon, and you can see underneath the graft it's pushing out some growth. So I think it's because the graft is thick that it's not doing it as quickly. Also got a Quince here that I grafted with several different types of plants. So these two I grafted with a pair called Lemon Bergamot, and it's really taken off, and that was the first to start shooting. Then we've got the Vicar of Wingfield. That's a type of pear. I think it's like a giant type of pear from France. Also got medlar here. That was one of the slower ones. And then lastly, very stunted, but that's a Korean nashi. So they can all take on that Quince rootstock, no issues. The only reason why I think that Quince is not the Quince, but the nashi is very stunted is because I've got that mound there, and that mound is stopping a lot of that light, and you know, it's stopping that branch waking up, I suppose you could say. Okay, what else? Yeah, so grafted on some types of nectarine, some varieties that I like and that we have here, white and a yellow, onto a wild sort of peach that's coming out of this yellow nectarine that we have here. Because this tree is very sick and the plan is to cut it down, but the roots know that it's sick and it's pushing up all this growth from underneath it. So I thought better graft on what I have to keep the variety, and then I'll cut the rest down. You know, you've got to have that airflow, and as you can see, there's a lot of curly peach leaf there. So these scions here, they're off the yellow nectarine variety, whereas these couple, they're your white nectarine. And for reference, the white nectarine is there, and again, that's whilst it's growing, it's lost a lot of bark around there, so ideally I want to cut that down too, because it's not as productive as it could be, and at the moment it's just taking up a lot of it's stopping the airflow. Did a lot of pruning to this golden peach, and that's again just to improve that airflow. What else do we have? We did graft an almond too. So this is a white peach that we grafted, an almond 4-in-1, the variety's called Hontu. So we did 5 grafts here, all different varieties, but mostly whip and tongue. I think I did try a wedge, and none of them bar one has taken. There it is. So now that that's taken, I'll take the tape off all of them and check how they're going, but I'll cut off all these other rootstock suckers The only reason they've been suckering is because this tree was very sick, very diseased. I cut it a lot back to try to bring it back to life. So that's it from the grafting side of things. I'm going to take you through now a few of the bounties I've had from spring. So I planted a few things in probably early to mid-winter. I should have done it earlier, but planted a few things there and now they're bearing fruit. So the first is that patch of broad beans I've got going, and I'll show a photo of the first harvest I've had from that. With veggies, with fruit and that, it's just one of those things. The more you start picking, the more it'll give you. If you just let them all ripen there, then that might be the only harvest you get. So they're very fat, they're very good, and they like water. I've been trimming around it. There was a lot of grass around it that actually helped protect it in a way from losing water and a bit of that wind, but now that they're stronger, it doesn't matter as much. We also had some potatoes I planted, so dual purpose. Yes, I can eat some potatoes, but also it's to break up the ground. And there's also another row I haven't done. I've already got maybe a few kilos from there, a couple kilos in each row. So, you know, a bit of an experiment. So these crops, when you think about it, they all have multi-use purposes. The broad beans, I've got corn, some ornamental corn going alongside it. So the broad beans are giving nitrogen to that. Also planted some silver beet. When I was deciding what to plant as a leafy green, I was stuck between silver beet and spinach. And I chose silver beet because it's just that more resilient to this sort of climate. It can handle the hot and the cold, and it just grows very vigorously. When you do this, don't plant one or two, plant a few so you can feed your family. You don't want to be, you know, robbing it all from the one plant, because, you know, it's not going to last too long if you do that. Same with the potatoes. Like, I'll probably put, I don't know how many spuds I put down there, probably 30 odd, and I probably got them back, but smaller. Yeah. What else have you had? Spring harvest. So, mature olive tree there. Did prune it a little bit back in winter, and with all the rains that we've had, the olives are plumping up. So a bit bigger than usual. So I've just picked these, and we'll try pickling them. See how we go. Why not? Something different. And we've also had a lot of herbs start coming or start producing more whilst the weather's warmed up. So coriander's growing. I don't have a lot of it, but it's come up in that slightly warmer weather. And this stuff here, it's an Aztec herb. It's called epazote. It's very popular in Mexican cuisine and very aromatic. Goes nice with beans, they say. But yeah, we've got that, and that's not something I planted. I planted it last year, and it's just self-seeded back where it was. We've also got parsley, but it's starting to seed now. And to stop things seeding, you just have to, you know, cut back the shoots. But it loves it here. It really does. You know, probably the tallest one is 1.5 meters high there. Also here, a lot of mint. Yeah, so yeah, what to expect in spring. Very good. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I've been busy with renos, so didn't have much time to film, but yeah, it's the garden's turn now, so see you around.